yeah, there's a new Resident Evil coming out. A hopefully good movie. It even brings back Rebecca Chambers. Hell yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So as sort of a celebration, or I guess rather as a rite of passage, I'm gonna take a look at all of the Resident Evil movies, including the 2 animated movies, ending with a review of Resident Evil Vendetta. So without further ado, let's get started with the first film in the series, and what would start a long line of childhood destruction that would last until... fuck man, this year. I can't believe this shitload of fuck lasted for 15 years. Gross. I've been a long-time fan of the series ever since my first experience playing through Resident Evil 3. That was literally a life-changing moment for me. So I'll be dissecting these movies as not just a film fan, but as a game fan as well. In other words, I'm about to fanboy in this bitch's mouth. You've been warned. Also, many spoilers ahead. I'm not holding back. I was incredibly excited when I first heard Resident Evil was going to be turned into a movie. Keep in mind, this was before I realized that almost every single video game turned movie would be a complete pile of ass. The first rumblings I heard were back when the script was being written by the master of zombies himself, George Romero. This version changed some things around. Chris was of Mohawk descent and owned a ranch, and was dating Jill. So I mean, while it did seem a little fan-fiction-y, at least it took place in the mansion and kept the original story-wise. You can find the script online. I suggest giving it a read, because it's a million times better than what we got. Anyway, Resident Evil came out in 2002, and was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who had previously also directed Mortal Kombat, and would go on to direct the Monster Hunter movie that's coming out. And I already did a rant all about that, so I'm just going to shut my mouth. So the basic plot is that someone lets loose the T-Virus in Umbrella's underground lab, which causes everyone to turn into zombies. As a result, a team of Umbrella soldiers, as well as Alice with the convenient plot device of amnesia, head down into the lab to clean up, basically. It's in this beginning sequence that my issues with the movie immediately start. There's no suspense. Immediately, the Red Queen, aka the AI system running the lab, starts locking down and killing everyone. We know the virus is loose. There's no sense of, oh my god, what's happened here? I mean, the characters have no idea, but we do. It's very obvious. They show us in the beginning. I also hate that the movie starts in a mansion just to fucking tease us, like, hey, we know what you want. You ain't getting it. All the characters suck. None of them are likable, and Alice, who's supposed to be our heroine, has no memory of what happened, so half the movie she just walks around like a fucking mannequin, and acts about as well, too. And no action movie would be complete without Michelle Rodriguez playing the same take-no-shit tough-as-nails chick she plays in every movie she's been in ever. I actually counted how long it takes for any of the zombies to show up. The first zombie, which is just a brief jump scare, happens 27 minutes into the movie. After that, there isn't another zombie until 40 minutes into the movie. I will say, though, that I like this scene. I like the sense of dread and suspense the scene has, but then it quickly turns into a bunch of action movie bullshit. Like the zombie getting shot with normal bullets and flying like 10 miles back. And then she gets up and disappears somehow, and, you know, the 2 characters standing right in front of her didn't see her get up and move.
She's gone. She's gone.
It's bullshit.
She fell right here, but she's gone.
Now, I gotta talk about the laser hallway sequence. While it is kinda cool, it's really just there to shrink the number of the characters for the convenience of the plot. And if the Red Queen can turn the laser into that web pattern thing, then why the fuck didn't she just do that right from the start instead of turning the sequence into a fucking gymnastics course? So the Cerberus make an appearance. They look awesome. Honestly, the effects work on these dogs is really, really good. But it's only in this scene, and it's nothing more than an excuse to have Alice do this dumbass Trinity wall jump kick thing. The main antagonist of the movie is a Licker, which, I mean, come on. In the games, a Licker can be killed with a few shots. You had access to a long list of villains from the series, including tyrants, and yet you went with a Licker? Also, for some ungodly reason, when the Licker eats meat, it mutates into a cat. That's not how that shit works. Also, 90% of the scenes with the Licker are done with really dated CGI from 2002. But near the end of the movie, we see that they had access to a practical animatronic Licker, and it looks good. Just goes to show practical is usually better. Now let's talk about Rain, Michelle Rodriguez's character. Throughout the course of the movie, she gets bitten 3 times. 3 times. I'd imagine getting 3 pumps of T-Virus into your body would have killed you a hell of a lot sooner, right? I mean, maybe I'm just overanalyzing it or nitpicking, whatever. The best part of the movie, hands down, is the ending. From the moment Alice wakes up in the lab to the final shot of her standing in the destroyed Raccoon City streets, the suspense, the atmosphere is spot on. This is what I wanted from the entire movie. Plus, it was a promise of only great things to come. Fuck! Spoiler alert for all the future reviews, every Resident Evil movie sucks. However, this one is the only, I guess, tolerable one. It keeps the stupid, over-the-top action sequences that would pepper all future films to a minimum, and it has some decent scenes of suspense, but it still has shit pacing and dull, boring-ass characters. The zombie effects are solid, though nothing compared to how spoiled we are now with the incredible effects we get in The Walking Dead. Overall, if you have to watch any of the movies, stick to just this one. There's no need to stray farther than this. I implore you, let me do it so you don't have to.